this out. We'll go to copy, Facebook. What's up, Virgil? Just give me 1 second, just setting this up really quick. All right. Make sure this is on there. Okay, we are good. And let's go ahead and go on to here. Okay. So we'll give it a couple minutes here. All righty. I'm very curious about it. It seems much like a G-Tech A10, only they added dual Z and BL Touch. Also, it's a lot bigger too. This is the size of like a CR10. So as you can see, it's a pretty big box. So wherever I left my thing here. So we'll wait for about 5 minutes in. We're at 3 minutes and 30 seconds in, give or take. Go ahead and share out there. Page. My pups. still have Amazon in their boxing abilities. It's great. Excuse the pile of mess here. I literally turned that into a tornado yesterday. So. Oh, that's kind of nifty. So Mingda actually just messaged me and gave me an unboxing video. So I know they did say that, hey, there's some stuff you got to take a look at. So we'll go through that in a second here. Okay. All right. So let's get into this. Throw that out. Yeah, this is much bigger than the G-Tech. So this has got a flex plate. This is the flex plate. So this is my hand. It's much bigger than the A10. This is a CR10 style for sure. So, all right, let's see what he's got here. Here. Let's see if there's any other groups. Okay. All right, guys. So let's get back to this. Filament spool holder, I'm guessing. That's what it looks like, at least. Box of parts. We have some test filaments here, extra PTFE, a USB cable. Looks like a acupuncture needle. It's a nozzle cleaner, and then our wrench. Extra nozzle, 4 gig Toshiba SD card. That's kind of rare to see that. Some screws, a T-bracket. I'm pretty sure that's for the upright. Looks like some corner brackets. Pair of tin snips. They actually look kind of used. I mean, they legitimately look used. There's like gashes in them and everything. Looks like they just re-oiled them. So they're nicer snips though. So that's at least one upside. USB card reader. I'll be honest, I don't really use these because they die very quickly. They're just general ones that are in there. Looks like a bunch of different Allen keys and a wrench set. Scraper, just your typical scraper, no beveled edge or anything, just straight scraper. And then looks like this fell out. Hope you guys can hear me okay. And then the spool holder for the position on it. So let's go ahead and keep that all together. Okay. So it looks like we're gonna lift the upright out of this. This is a big frame. That's a big boy. Our power cord, we're going to need that. Our leveling knobs. These are actually 3D printed leveling knobs. Not the greatest looking. Like these are pretty bad. So you guys can see that. That's pretty bad. In all honesty. And I think I'm missing one, unless it's hiding somewhere else. I might be missing one. So we'll see how far we get without it. That's the hot end assembly. Oh, there's the other one. There's the fourth one. That one's actually all right. It's got a little divot in it, but for the most part, that one's okay. We have our heated bed. Springs are all over the place. This was just kind of like thrown all together. This should be assembled. In all reality, fairness, this is not very good so far. So the quality of what's been put together is terrible so far. But we'll see how she prints. She prints okay. That out of the way. All right. Yeah, that's a big, big printer. Okay, so let's just take a look at this and attach that so we can get that up out of the way. So it looks like we have full bed heater. So that's nice. It's not just some, cheaply, it's not like a Creality one that only covers a certain amount. So actually it uses 3D touch, not BL touch. Oh, okay. My apologies. As I see there, it says 3D touch. Similar to the BL touch, but definitely different. Okay. One thing I will say is there are no directions, but they did tell me that they are on the SD card. However, we do have the video to go through here. I wish I had the ability to share screen. Do I? Let's see here. Can I share screen? I don't think YouTube Live will allow me. Can you guys at least hear me? Good. I hope so. Okay. Let's post in here. All right. So we're just going to go through the unboxing. Yeah, I don't think the plates and everything was supposed to be disconnected from it, but that's kind of good in my opinion right now because I can see if everything is leveled and there's no issues with this bed being crooked or anything. A lot of things are tend to come to me that are needing adjustment, but this actually feels nice. So far so good, at least in terms of that. But like I said, the downfall is that you do have to put the bed on everything on. So let's go ahead and put that on here. Okay, so that just kind of slips in there. That's nice. We'll be most likely using these screws. So it says do not touch the lead screws. So when you take this out of the box, do not touch the Z lead screws because they are evened. So you don't want to have them out of sync. That would be bad. Yeah, so this, as I'm viewing this video, it actually shows that everything is intact. So I think, you know, when this was boxed up, it was just kind of thrown in there because that's what it looks like. So in terms of, you know, first impressions, not the greatest, to be in all honesty. I've definitely seen worse, but for a printer this size and for that amount, I expected all that stuff to be already pre-assembled and ready to rock and roll, but we'll see. So we might have to readjust the 3D touch to get that all set up. Sorry, I'm watching a video and trying to figure this all out here. So let's see here. So that really doesn't show me anything, but we're gonna take a gander here. We're gonna pull up the instructions on this SD card because the video just kind of shows them grab a screw. I'm guessing one of these, and just throwing it in there. But I don't want to throw it in there and then figure out that, hey, this is the wrong screw for this. So let's see if there's some other way that we can take a look at this. Do I still have that up there? Just looking for my SD card reader. All right. Let's see what we got here. D3 guide. No thanks. I do not want to import that. Let's go ahead and there we go. Okay, so overview, blah, blah, blah. We have all of our stuff. All right, so so it says actually to install the device extruder first, but we're gonna set up the gantry first here instead of doing that. So let's go ahead and get that all set up. So we're gonna use the 4 M5 by 12. 4 pieces, which are these 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you can tell because they have a double washer, so they have a washer and a lock washer. I believe it's this one. No, that one. Okay. So now this is going to be the fun part because I got stuff all over the place as I've been fixing things down here. That would have been bad. All right. They should slide right in here, but I'm not catching on any of the extrusion. So, at this. All right, there we go. Got it to stick. Just took a little bit of trial and error. All right, one side's on, the other side. So far, this upright assembly is going not so well. And I think it's because this might be a little bit bent. Let's loosen up the side. Need to have it a little bit loose. Let's do this. Make it easier on ourselves. This way. Just trying to see what kind of board we got in there. Let's see too well. See the power supply. Yeah, so far the upright is a royal pain to put together. So that's thought this was going to go by a lot quicker. Yeah, I have the user manual. Sorry to tease you, but it's funny. No instructions. I'll look at instructions. Oh, I'm not going to, and the other instructions. So there are instructions on the SD card I'm looking at. So I'm not looking at the instructions on a on YouTube because, well, they just show him pick up a screw and that's it. So and the problem is like This upright, I can tell, is already going to be an issue because it doesn't line up. I can clearly see that it doesn't line up. So this is already going to be fun. All right, I think I got it. That has a baby face on it. Hey, what can I say? I like Halloween early. One thing I hope is that this is set to the right voltage. Because if it ain't, that's going to be another fun one to go through and undo all that stuff and do it again. Yeah. One of the downfalls of these nicer looking units. When I say nicer, like the nicer bases. So it's not as plain. It's got a nice enclosed base, as you can see. Alrighty. So the upright is all set and ready to rock and roll. We're gonna go ahead and put in our motor connectors just to get those up out of the way. So I can see that already being a pain in some way. A light. So it looks like the Z brackets are 3D printed. These look okay. That looks okay. All right, moving along here. Let's get the upright, or I'm sorry, the hot end installed here. So we're gonna do M3 screws, which I really wish that they showed what it was, but that's fine. M3 by 10, it's 3 pieces. So my guess is one. Nope, not those ones. So those are M4/8s. Where's that T? There it is. All right, so we're going to need M4/8 by 4 pieces on each side. So I don't think I got enough screws to do this. I don't think we're going to be assembling this 100%. Because here's this, here's those, there's those, there's those. Okay, so now we have 4 screws. Yes, and these are the 3 screws. And then we have 4 screws. So okay, so it looks like 2 and 2. All right, so 2 it might be okay. I'm just special. Let's see here. Mine's better. That's to be seen. We'll determine that in a little bit here once we get it up and running. I'm guessing the smaller ones go on the bottom. It's nice that they actually have these brackets on here, but it would be nice if they were already like pre-installed. That would be kind of nicer, just to make things a little bit easier for the end user. My only real big issue was the upright. The upright, we had to stretch it a little bit. Well, technically mine is currently better because it's in operational state. Also, I think my SKR 1.4 turbo and get here today. I want a direct drive printer. That's what this is. It is not a Bowden, so it comes through the top and has a filament runout sensor apparently. And yeah, so we'll see how that goes. It'll be very interesting. Yep. So I did it wrong. So it looks like the bottom screws are going to be the taller ones. I wish that this was a little bit better. So M4. The instructions on this are just not that great. But to be in all honesty, most printer ones are not. So it's not like it's a issue with Mingda in general. It's just an issue with printer installation stuff in general. It's horrible. So let's go back here. And here I thought this was going to be so much easier. Let's see here. Why do I want to say that they just skipped over that part? There we go. Okay, so it looks like they do that last. I'm not sure why. No, that's the right ones. Okay. Hi, Matt. Is this a direct drive printer? Yes, it is. It is a direct drive. So here's the entire hot end setup that you can see. It has a 3D touch. Here's your stepper motor, and here is your hot end and your direct drive setup. Everything goes directly in here. So, and it has a filament runout sensor as well. So it's kind of nice actually that it has that. welcome spring. Yeah, this was sent to me from Mingda 3D to take a look at and see how I like it. So far it's okay. We'll just leave it at that. It's really going to be up to its print capabilities, because to be in all honesty, to put together printers, some are harder than others. Some are 2 seconds. Take for example the difference between a Creality Ender 3 and a G-Tech A10. It probably takes about half the time to set up a G-Tech A10 over a Ender 3, but that's because you're not assembling the hot end or anything like that. So it makes it a lot easier to get it up and running right away. So yeah, everybody's got their little quirks and everything. So like I said, the only major issue I've seen so far is that the frame I had to like kind of bend out a little bit. Not like I'm not going to hulk it out, but I had to bend it out to get the screws in properly. Just like with the Mega S Pop 8 bolts and level. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, this one's pretty simple too, but it's been a while since I've assembled an FDM printer. I don't know if you guys can see all the resin printers behind me, and I even have some that are out of view, but I've been kind of used to that. So I've been out of the FDM scene for a little bit, but we're trying to get back into it with doing printer reviews and things like that, so we can show off to people in our group, what printers are what, and their strong points, and if they're a good buy and things like that. Kind of have a no bias thing. Just kind of test out all of them so we can say, hey, this is what's good about this printer, that's what's good about that printer, and so on and so forth. So. Of course. This is the Mingda D3 Pro. Welcome, Canadian Maker Project. How goes it? So far, the build's going okay. Again, as I was just reiterating, it's been a while since I've done some FDM stuff, so I may be, not the best at doing this right now, but I figured I wanted to show this off to all of our group members over at the 3D Printing Noobs group. And that's what I thought. It doesn't line up. G-Tech i3s are great at causing aneurysms. You're very welcome, sir. So glad I gave you that printer. You've learned so much in such a little bit of time because you wanted to. So I guess you need a new challenge. Yeah, evidently I do. I guess that's one of the reasons why I switched over to resin, because it's like you take it out of the box, you set a few things up, and that's it. Unless we're talking about a longer orange resin printer, then you know it's a whole another disaster of what needs to get done on those. Because you know it took me 20 minutes, I think, of a video just to get the hood on that thing properly. And of course, this is all warped. So let's try and turn this around and see. Make sure it's wired up before you power it on. That I at least know. I'm pretty good with electronics. I deal with a lot of stuff that's electronic wise. I've already hooked up to stepper motors and everything, and the Xeon stop. So we're good. Or the 3D touch, I should say. It doesn't really have an end stop. Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. With those i3 style printers, the knockoffs, Prusa knockoffs, you know, they're all basically the same. They all have you know, quite a bit of learning curve right out of the box. But once you learn it, you learn it. You learn everything. So that's what's kind of nice about them. But again, they give you major headaches. Yes, absolutely they do. And that's just not anyone. That's literally everyone. And it's for production purposes. So one of the downfalls of pretty much all FDM style 3D printers is everybody and their brother loves the tin wires. And while that's good for manufacturing purposes, when it comes down to actually using your printer and wanting to do things with it, that's not a very good idea to have that, because it can cause fires or blow up a board because you're like shorting out the terminal. I have to switch to a different setup here because that's stripping that Allen key out of the part, and I don't think I got an Allen key that'll fit this right now. Of course, I have just the wrong size, right? Yeah. That will definitely not fit. Nope. Well, that's great, because this is like stripping out the heads on this thing. All right, let's see if we can find something else. Trusty screwdriver here. Hopefully we can find it. We can find a bit that'll fit. Ah, that rhymes. A bit that'll fit with it. There we go. Chinesium strikes again. Yep. Thankfully, I'm always prepared for that, though. So. All right, so we're all set with that. Get that up out of the way. Get that out of the way. Always nice to have a multi-screwdriver set. Okay. So, for you guys that were joining, as you can see, there's no bed on this. And I don't know if it's because it was just packed up crappily or it got jostled around in shipping, which I highly doubt because it's packaged very well. But I don't know. We'll just take it as is right now and just go from there. So it's telling me to put together the filament holder. So let's go ahead and get that all set up. This is a very odd filament holder, I will tell you that much for right now. One of the stranger ones. It is interesting though, because it's just a solid, well, not solid, but it's probably a hollow piece of aluminum for our over the seas friends. All right, let's take here, that on, this on. All right. So there's that. And then we got to install the M4 screws, which are on the top here. I hate installing these things because they're just a pain to get to. But I'll do it out of safety sake here. I don't even know if you guys can see where I'm putting this thing on. I don't know if my camera is wide enough for that. I will say one of the cool things about this is that the filament runout sensor that's right here, you guys can't see it. It kind of runs through the extrusion rail. So in some ways that's good, some ways that's bad. If there's an electrical problem, then you got an issue. But if you're okay with it and you just need to replace the filament runout sensor, then you're all right. But it is a direct drive. It is not a bow down or Bowden or however you guys want to say it. I never really know the true way of what to say that name, so I just say Bowden. Bowden tube. I think it's Bowden or bow down. So, like bow wow wow yo yeah. All right. So we have 3 screws and 2 screws. Let's go back to our documentation. Cute kitty. Oh yes, she's cute. Yes. That's my wife's kitten that loves to, destroy her chair because she does like live streams and stuff, and you see like all of her jewelry and everything, and yeah, her cat just destroys the chair. So, all right, so we're gonna plug in the Z limit switch. That's the X limit switch. Sorry, not the Z. So pretty much we're going to be hooking up everything else in terms of cable connection. Okay. So now we need to hook this up. I don't think there's any specific way that this needs to be hooked up. Hopefully not. Doesn't look like it, at least. Bow down before the one you serve. I'm not a big fan of these Z-limit switches or switches in general, these style. It looks kind of real like, cheap. And for a printer of this price, not what I expected, but I know everybody has their own little things that they utilize, and this might just be Mingda's style. So, because I can already see these having an issue coming off. slide on and off is kind of a pain. Let's see. That's how it says. I mean, I can always crimp a lot if need be. All right, so that goes on like that, I'm guessing. Yep. Okay, so that probably has 2 small screws on it. Let's see here. 10 watching, 1 thumbs up. Yeah, that's typical with my videos. Everybody just kind of lurks in here. I'll be honest, I'm more concerned with people who are subscribed to the channel, because we're getting so close to 1,000 subscribers, and that would actually make my YouTube channel official, which would be awesome. I would have a field day with that. Or cheesy, mine easy. I really, really hate this video, to be quite honest with you. The build video, the instructions, everything is just kind of out there. Obviously, I have, you know, certain God, I'm trying to search for the word. Certain screws and everything for what have you, but you know, I think a printed manual is something that needs to be in the works for this, because, you know, I understand the whole digital thing and saving trees and whatnot, but to be in all honesty, you need a regular manual to go through this, and on top of it, you need a manual that is constructed very well, because as of right now, looking at your digital manual, it is not too pretty with the way things are worded and shown, more or less, not worded. Give me 1 second. I will look at the price, but as of right now, with the issues that I'm having, so the issue I'm having right now is there's a screw here and a screw here. This screw went in fine. This bottom screw is not lining up properly, and it's not the fact that, you know, it's not set properly. It's just the fact that it's not lined up originally properly. So, but as for price, I got to take a look at that really quick. I want to say it's $370 for this. And that would be why. I think we have some extra paint when we did the anodizing on here. That's getting in my way. Threads. We're gonna thread this without that. Let's see if that works. Thread it. But to be in all honesty, I was expecting to be working on this, getting it printing. Yeah. Yeah. So the issue is there's anodizing stuck inside the threading. So what's up, Chris? How's it going, man? What's up, Retro Nerd Gaming? What's up, Drekken Kane? How's it going? Sweet. Thanks, Canadian. Thanks for the help there, bud. Yes, I do say bud. Can blame my old boss for that. Hard to hear you when you're not facing the camera. Sorry. Yeah, it's kind of hard to do that. Plus, I'm far away and my mic's here, and my whole setup is just kind of rigged up for today because this is a much larger printer than what I'm used to. I haven't owned a larger printer like this for quite some time, so I'm not really used to it. There we go. Just needed a bigger threading to get it through. Sobel, how's it going, guys? It would be nice to test out one of your guys' printers too. I know you guys got one that's similar to this. So if you do, just let me know. Need a lapel mic. I do actually have a lapel mic, but the problem is it. Sorry. Oh my God, I think I got it in. Yay! That's what she said. What was a lapel mic. So I do kind of have one. It's right here. So I guess I could try and hook it up, but unfortunately, the system is already set up for this microphone. So we're kind of SOL right now for it. What's up, Renegade Labs? How's it going? You're at 953 subs. Yes, I'm very close. I've been kind of like milking it here and there to try and get it up to 1,000. It would be super awesome to get that. So we're going to plug in the X motor. Okay. X limit switch. Z motors hooked up. Both of them. Filament sensor is hooked up. That Z motor's hooked up. Power plug. We did not hook that up. I'm not going to until we are all done, but we'll get it at least ready in the area. We're going to have to move this a little bit closer. I don't have an extension cable on here. You know what? I did have one. We'll have to see. We'll get that at least in the area here. All right. So some minor hiccups. Nothing out of the ordinary. Now, what's strange is this does show a leveling block, which I do not see a leveling block anywhere in the packaging or anything like that, unless I'm missing it, which is a good possibility. But just one more thing to add on. Now I do have these extra pieces. I'm curious to know where these go. Maybe for the feet. We'll figure. We'll go through. All right. So now we're going to install the extruder. And that's 3 screws on this side. And then we got to put the bed back on and everything. So that way we can get it all set up. let's see. Yeah, what's up, Sobel? Like I said, it'd be nice to check out your guys' machine and do a comparison to it, because I know you guys have a machine that's very similar to this. So Mingda sent this to us to test out and show off on the group. So definitely really, really nice of them. So let's go ahead and get this all set up. Get our 3 screws. And I've been wanting to get my hands on a Sobel. Hey, even if you sent me a smaller one, I'd be fine with that. I'm always down for the Ender 3 competitors. I have a G-Tech A10 that's sitting here. It's just out of the way. You guys can't see it because I'm blocking it, but it's got a print on it right now that just finished about an hour ago. I hate the hiccups. Yeah, unfortunately, that's kind of comes with the territory. Especially when you have these DIY printers, you're gonna see hiccups, but it's not terrible. It might be a little bit of an issue for somebody who's new at this. That's kids for you. Okay, so we got everything hooked up here. This is a little weird. Might be nice to have a cable chain with that, but I mean that'll do all right. It's not the end of the world. Yeah, it's not gonna be killer. So now let's go ahead and put the bed back on and get that all situated. So this is the fun part. Because this is a huge bed to do. So let's do one side at a time. Project Yellow Springs. Yeah, that's at least one good thing that they included, the Yellow Springs. I'll be honest, I've never really used the Yellow Springs. I've always I went from manual bed leveling to auto bed leveling right away. So for you guys that are joining, I just wanted to show you the awesome prints that came with this. So there is one of the wheels. As you can see, it's amazing. Probably the best quality I've seen since, I don't know, never. There's another one that's even better. I really wish I can zoom in and focus a little better, but that's about as good as you're getting. I think there's about one of these, and I think that's this one that's just okay. Yeah, this looks like, if I didn't know what I was doing, I think I can print something close to this. That one's pretty good. That one's nicely squished and ready to rock and roll. But look, I'm not going to be like other people that review or unbox printers. I'm not going to be like, yeah, this is good, this is good, this is good. It's okay. I'm going to show you what's terrible with this thing, because like that's That's horrendous. If somebody saw that and was like, this was their first printer and they were like, oh, this is how this is supposed to look. No. That's not how that's supposed to look ever. All right. There's that. There is that. Not a big fan of those connectors on the bed. If they work, beauty is pointless, utilitarian. I will agree with you on that extent. But I mean, really, if you're going to send a brand new printer, you know, if you're going to send something like that, you might as well just send a nut. It'd be better off, in my opinion, or just send the centerpiece so I can screw it on there. So I probably will end up printing new knobs. I'll have to look at that. I might just leave them because, again, to add on to Virgil's point, they are just kind of look and they're useless. Like the 3D Touch is going to do everything. This does have auto bed leveling. So in all reality, I don't even need those. I can just put screw nuts on them and call it a day, which I probably will end up doing down the road. And then here's our fancy mat, which I'll probably end up destroying, which is fine because I got a backup mat if I need to. Get it? I'm the backup mat because my name's Matt. This bed does not fit. It's a little bit oversized, which again is kind of a mood point, not the end of the world. All right. Still don't know what these are for, so let's scroll through here and see what's going on. Have no friggin' clue. Not one. Obviously, they're for T-nuts. So I think we're pretty much done at this point. Because, like I said, I have no idea what these go to. I'll have to ask them. Yeah, doesn't show in the video. Doesn't show in the instructions. Nothing like that. Yeah, I'll probably end up. I got to stop by my buddy's place, TH3D Studio. So I might end up picking up a flex plate for this because I was going to pick up a flex plate for the G-Tech A10 because it's got kind of this surface on it, but it's not magnetic. It's just a lay down. So I don't know if you guys can see, but right on this bin right here is an extra easy mat from TH3D. So show them on camera. So these things, they're like corner units. And this looks like it belongs in an extrusion rail, but I don't know where. Same with this one, you know, and there's 2 bolts on each side. And there's two bolts of this size and 2 bolts of a smaller size. And then there's 2 T-nuts, and that's it. So there's They're obviously have to go somewhere. There's no instructions for them, nothing. Show them close to the camera. Boom. It's a corner piece, obviously, but I mean, like that? Maybe? For the back? No. Like I have no idea. For the top? No, because there's corner pieces here that block it. They're plastic corner pieces. And the extrusion is weird because it's a 2040 laid on the 20 side, and the whole extrusion is 20. So while it's a 2040 extrusion rail, it's not very interesting. So maybe for like the corner here you're talking about? I don't know. See, but there's no mention of that, and they're not even listed in the parts. There's no mention of it in the documentation. There's no mention of it on the video. There's no pictures of it. Nothing. I'm dying. I need to take a drink of water. It's a very good possibility. Maybe this goes to a different printer. I have no idea. I'll have to message Mingda afterwards and see what's going on with that. So, no, don't say that because, yeah, don't say that. Let's just not say that. How about that? How about that? We're actually going to get an extension cable here. Should throw somewhere. There it is. And then here's the weird thing. Okay, they included this too. I didn't use this. I don't know what's needed for that. It's a wrench basically. So I have no clue what's going on here. I just work here. Super prepared to the rescue. Ugh. I wanted to set this up this way so we can see everything. Now the $1 million question is the power set to the right voltage? All right, so I hear the BL, sorry, not BL touch, the 3D touch working. Ooh. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and remove the SD card and get that out because we don't need to. Well, you know, we do need to look at the documentation because it does have some other stuff. So let's pull this guide off. And we will disconnect it. And we'll do a test print. One good thing about this is it does come with a full-size SD card. So that's really, really nice to have. I always like those. I know, like, that's one of the things why I like the G-Tech A10 is because they had this, but you know, they ended up scrapping it. It is a touchscreen, which I have mixed feelings about. Me using them with resin printers, they're great, but when it comes to FDM printers, they can be a disaster. They're not responsive and they just don't work very well. All right, so let's go ahead and do a test print, shall we? Use this fancy filament that they sent us. Again, here for you guys to see the awesome used clippers that I got, you can clearly see their fingerprints all over them, gashes and everything. I barely even touched these, but they are nicer. They're like a heavier duty pair. They're not like the cheap Chinesium ones that they send with every printer. They are actually much more bulkier. You can clearly see that they have more of a clip to them. So they are good, at least. Oh God, I probably just ruined this whole thing. Oh, okay. We'll stretch it out. Yes, I have a pair myself. Yeah. So again, this has a filament runout sensor, which is kind of cool. And I guess if you really wanted to, you could put some Bowden tube on here. So it kind of looks like it's not direct drive, but it actually is. All right. Note to the wise: when you're trying to put something through and it's not going right, cut it on an angle. Boom, like that. Should slide right in and out, or at least a lot easier. It's just getting stuck by the filament sensor. Did they put this in the wrong way? I was glad they did. I cannot get it through the hole, my friend. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing, and I can't really see. But I tried pushing it up, and it did the same thing. It got stuck on there, but it could be because the way that it's switched in there. I don't know. So here, let's power this down, and let's take that off just to see, because I can't see what's going on with that. But something is not right. I've used filament runout detectors before. They definitely don't act like that. Oh, looks like it's good. Just the path that it has in there is just not great. It's not a very good path. There we go. That's going to be a pain to get stuff in all the time. I can tell that right now. All right, turn this back on. Cough scare cat. Trying to think what I had, like having some heartburn. Yeah, if I can't get it in a hole, oh boy. I mean, so initial impression of that. Well, shit. Hold on. is that this is a very quiet printer so far. At least with the fans, it's very quiet. And yeah, for you RGB guys, let's see here. Let's go ahead and heat up our nozzle. Go. Oh, that's cool. You can switch between that and that. Okay. So let's see. Is there like a preheat menu leveling? Okay. Let's do D3 test. So our bed's going to be heating up before our extruder. It's going to be hitting 25. I hope that is installed and ready to rock and roll the way that it's supposed to, because it didn't tell me what is what. Steve loves RGBs, a must to have for him. Yeah, I could really care less. So, who knows? Maybe Steve can buy this one if he really wanted it. We'll see about getting a discount code. So, just to give you guys a little bit of an insight, if you go and look on Amazon right now for this printer, you will see it has some terrible reviews on it. And to be in all honesty, I didn't really even look to see what the reviews were bad about, but I'm sure we'll see here in a second, because I'm expecting to gouge this plate. So we'll see. That's the case. It's heating up just fine. Getting up to temp here. So yeah, so I didn't really take a look and see what all the issues were with the printer itself, and why people were giving it such a bad review. To be in all honesty, besides a few hiccups here and the terrible documentation, which again is throughout everybody. It's not just this company; it's all companies that I've done printers and built printers with. It's the documentation just sucks always, because it's a conversion thing. I'm not really sure if it's a 12 or 24. I'm going to say a 24 volt, but I cannot confirm that because I haven't looked inside of it. And again, I barely looked into all the information on this. So while this is heating up, let's go ahead and take a gander at that and see how everything is going. Let's go to Amazon. Go to order. All right, let's see here. So for your reference, this is a 320 by 320 by 400. It's got a 3.5-inch touchscreen, which is actually really, really nice. It says silent printing. Now, I have not heard the motors yet, so we'll have to see about that when it does come start working. I don't think I'm hitting the spot right now. Either a jam in this, or I'm just not getting it to flow down. There we go. There we go. All right, so we at least got it to change the color. All right, so looks like it's going to be printing at 185. All right, so it does have auto leveling with 3D touch. It is a 320 by 320 by 400. Super, super quiet. Like, I barely even hear it. Very slow, but I'm okay with that. I'm not someone who's here for speed. You know, even though I love Speed Racer. It's a single 40/40 reel, right? I don't know what you're talking about, 40 by 40. Yeah, that's not supposed to be doing that. It should auto level the bed, but I guess we're gonna manually level the bed. There we go. I guess I'm pretty sure I'm gonna gouge the bed here. Who needs 3D touch? I'll just level it on the fly. Screw it. Bed rolls on a single 40 by 40. So actually, it's a 20 by 20. But it's dual. So as you can see, it's a 1-in-1, and then it's belt driven as well on the center. And then the carriage actually has quite a lot of setup there. So already out of box, I'm not really impressed with the 3D touch because as you can clearly saw, it leveled the center and that was it. So I think somebody forgot to put in the G code to level the bed. So I just manually leveled it myself, and as you can see, I did not too bad. I'd say that's actually pretty good. That side. The back side's probably not going to be very good, but we'll see. I was totally expecting to just destroy this bed right away because I'm like, this is 3D touch is not going to work because in my experience, BL touch or 3D touch, they just don't work very well right out of the box. But yeah, I leveled it and we're good to go. So with that being aside, maybe we'll do the other print and see what's going on with that. So let's see here. It says stable control and accurate printing. So it does have TMC 2208s. So that's nice. That's why it's super quiet. I can barely hear it. Yeah, I can barely hear it. It does have a magnetic mat, which this is probably the lower grade one. So printing consistently at 50C is probably about as good as it's going to get. Anything above that is probably going to end up warping on the edges and whatnot, even though it does have a nice solid heating point. Ah. All right, we're gonna stop this. All right, we're gonna stop it because I manually leveled the bed. So what the hell do I need a 3D touch for? Anyway, yeah, I'm guessing it's missing the command for it. So we'll see. As of right now. But again, we'll do the other test prints and see what's going on with that. So we'll go back. Let's see. Menu. We'll move, and we're going to move X. Here's our fancy little scraper here. You got a laser temperature machine to see what the connectors are like. I do have a laser temperature. I've never really used it. So I guess today would be a good time. Talking about one of these little bad boys. I didn't think they worked on small areas, to be completely honest with you. Why am I doing this? I have a flex plate for a reason. Although this is probably not going to come off because it's probably still toasty. That came off. So, for anybody that has issues with bed leveling, well, there's an easy way to do that. Grab a filament that is easy to see, and go from there. One of my biggest issues with large build mats. You got a laser temperature machines to see what the connectors are like. Are you talking about like the bed connectors? That's what you're talking about? Yeah, I did gouge the mat a little bit, but nothing like, oh my god, this is gonna be a disaster and I need to have it replaced right now. So that's at least a good thing. So the touchscreen works very well. See if the bed heats even. I highly doubt that, but we'll we'll let it cool down here a little bit, and then we'll put it back up on here. So let's go back to prints. We'll do. So we did the test. Obviously, that didn't really work too well. So let's go ahead and do the other one. So let's go ahead and turn this on. So it looks like we're heating pretty evenly. Yeah. Yeah, so it looks like that it's heating pretty evenly. So we're at 50. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look here. So this is should maintain temperature pretty well. We're at 120. So we're supposed to be at 50. I'm measuring at like 47.4, 49, 47, and that one's 45. So right at the connector is a little bit lower than the rest of it. But they're all within within 5 degrees of each other. So kinda. And if this doesn't work, then we're going to have to run our own G code and see if that works. And if not, then we're going to have to see what's going on with that. All right, moment of truth. Now we should go to the front there. Or not. I don't know. It should do a bed leveling before every single print. So the G code is not right on this. So that's at least one downfall so far. But again, these are just test prints. So if I was going to actually do a print, I have my setup already to have auto bed leveling work. So I wonder if I threw in a G code on here, if it would work with this printer right away. So but again, no, it's automatically on bed leveling. So there's a 3D touch right behind the hot end. Comes standard on the system, and it does probe the center of the bed, but that's it. So the only like oddball thing that I say is this, if they maybe made this a little bit stiffer or stronger than having it like that. Because I can see that getting in the way. So I don't have a Pi readily available right now with stuff. How often do I wear all that jewelry? Only on Thursdays. But even without the BL Touch, it works. So I don't really see what the huge thing is. Um, it's printing. It's printing a raft, which I absolutely hate. It's a waste of filament. I've never printed with a raft ever. I personally am not a big fan of them, but that might just be me. So, by the way, if anybody's watching and they are not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. The more people we got subscribed, the better it is. We can make this channel official because I'd like to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're dang close. Well, I'm just going to let it run. We're going to let it print for a little bit. I'll probably cut this here in about 15 minutes because you guys saw everything. Unfortunately, I didn't get the BL Touch. I'm sorry, I keep saying BL Touch. The 3D Touch working the way that it's intended to. But again, that might just be the codes on the system itself. And it's nice because it does have baby steps, so I can step it down or step it up if I need to. Ooh, I can change the LED color, so we could just have this green all the time. I can have it blue if I wanted to. Or maybe that doesn't work. Busy processing. So it does take a little while, I guess, to set that up. You're 46 away. It is printing nice, though. Oh, 46 subs away. Gotcha. Thank you. I'll be honest, I don't really keep track of it. It's just kind of something that's there, and it would just be cool to have that added on. So I don't keep an eye on it because then I'll think about it all the time, and I'll be like, oh, I need to push this and I need to push that, and then I get in trouble with people because I'm asking for a sub from people, and a lot of people don't like that. That's fine. So I just kind of keep it quiet. Well, evidently the LED does not work. Maybe just because it doesn't work when it's while it's printing. I don't know. It's just on multi. So the runout sensor is off. Oh, you know what? I think I got to turn on the auto bed leveling. So let's go back to the instructions here. Okay, so auto bed leveling. Let's take a look at all this stuff. Nozzle, home print extrude. Okay. Baby steps. Yep. TSC adjust. What is that? Screen machine. Does it give you the G code that you need? That's the question. So it tells you how to set up the machine, so that's good, at least for the instructions, so you know what is what. It gives you all the information on what you should set your machines at. Load the STL file. It will show printing. So it looks like they don't tell you to put in the G code here, which is strange. Unless this is like one of those systems where it uses it on the actual printer itself. It doesn't use an actual like slice G code, which that might be why what this is. auto power. I'm not sure what that is. That's if we wanted to change the speed. I think we'll let it do this little layer here, and then we're gonna stop it and see if we can try and get it. Well, no, like I knew the documentation didn't say anything about that. It does say about the 3D touch, but what it talks to you about is if it crashes, what you should do if it crashes. That's it. Nothing else. It says use A4 paper. Well, oops, we did it by eye. Pretty good. Click to leveling ABL. The printer will automatically collect data. After this step, the machine will automatically compensate when printing. Okay, so I'm dumb. So again, we'll stop this once this layer is done here. A good Chinese documentation. Yeah, and a terrible American trying to read it. I hate this damn thing. Let's get one that is actually got some edging on it. Hey, look, it comes right off. Hey, I got to be honest, though. That's pretty good for some manual bed leveling now. You guys can barely see it, but that's a raft, so it's going to have some holes in it, but you can see how well it went down. There's no issues with that. Like, there's no raised layers, no squished layers, nothing like that. So that's pretty good. So one thing I will say, if we're going to be doing that, we need to heat up the bed, because if for any of you guys that are watching that don't know anything about auto bed leveling systems, is heat expands and contracts. So, or I'm sorry, metal expands and contracts when it's heated and cooled. So you want it heated because obviously that's when you're going to be using it. If we do auto bed leveling while it's cooled, you're going to get different readings than you are when it's heated. So you want to make sure that you at least heat your bed before you do the auto bed leveling. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Let's see here. Menu. Settings maybe. Okay, so we're going to go hotbed. We're going to put it at 50. All right, so we're going to heat the bed to 50, and then we're going to do auto bed leveling. So, and to do that, you're going to go into the menu, and you're going to hit leveling. We're gonna wait until that gets up to 50, because right now it's at 33. That might be okay, but we're just going to get it up to operating temperature, just so we have the correct one. And what that'll do is it should automatically capture the bed leveling from now until we move the machine, because this machine is going to be moved down here somewhere. As you can see, I've already been kind of making room with my resin printers and everything. There's my G-Tech A10 right there with print sitting on it. You guys are just out of view of it. But, geez. I have a major heartburn. I didn't even eat anything spicy. So we'll at least get to show this off for the auto bed leveling before we hit the road here. By the way, my apologies for the crooked camera. The way that I usually have this camera set up is closer towards here. And since it's mounted on a GoPro mount, I have limited ability to adjust where the 0 point is. So my apologies for that. All right. So we are now heated up. So we're going to go ahead and hit menu, hit leveling, and we're going to do ABL. So now it should go ahead and probe everything. So it should start in the middle there, then it should come to the edges. But again, the bed should be good because, like I said, we manual leveled it even without the ABL. So the ABL is kind of a moot point, but hey, it's still a cool feature to have because if it does automatically adjust, it'll adjust to have that specific depth and height or whatever. So ugh, getting tired here. So we've been at this. Okay, so we'll end the feed at about 2 hours in. We're at an hour and 52 minutes in. So within from out of box to printing, you should be printing within an hour and a half. Okay. We'll do pyramid. We'll see what that's like. I think that's the what do they call that? God, I forget the name of it. It's a really cool pyramid that you can print, and it stress tests all the axes. It's real crazy. Yeah, so I did kind of gouge the mat a little bit. Not again, it's still usable. I think what we're going to do is we're going to print a helmet on this because I've never done a helmet and I've always wanted to do one. So maybe we'll do like what everybody else does, the Mandalorian helmets, and see about that, and see how well it prints it. Obviously, we got to move it off here because this table is way too wobbly. But for this test prints, I'm not really worried about it. Let it run out all its filaments. Don't really care about it. filament is a little bit runny at times, at least from the start. Was it doing a raft again? Is really? Why must everything be printed on a raft? Well, I thought that the helmets were already hollowed out, and you just put supports if needed be. Because I mean, I've simplified setup, ready to rock and roll, or I have Prusa slicer, which is just as good, if not better, in some ways, in my opinion. Um, so, but yeah. So, my thoughts on this machine: is it worth the what was it, $370? Yeah, I'd say it's pretty good. It's got some good points. It's got a BL. I'm sorry, it's got a 3D touch, so it's got auto bed leveling. It's got a touch screen, which a lot of people love. Me personally, I could really care less. Either one will work. Um, it has direct drive. It's very silent. I mean, the motors are silent. The fans are silent. It's not like an Ender 3 or CR10 where the motors are silent, but the fans are still very loud. No, this thing is very quiet. Now, to be in all fair, I have not heard the first layer fan kick on, so that might change. But as of right now, it is uber quiet. It's very simple to set up. What we had 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 screws. 17 screws to set up. So not bad. Everything else is ready to rock and roll for you. And yeah, let me see if it says what it is. So it says that it can do filaments, PLA, flexible. That's what the direct drive can do. ABS and carbon fiber. So that's kind of nice that it's got all that information on there of what you can and cannot print. So one of the other things I'm going to point out here is on the customer image on one of the reviews, it showed that the bed leveling screws were protruding through the metallic base plate, not metallic, the magnetic base plate, which this is doing. So they're not really pushed down. So when you do get this printer, I do suggest putting a lock nut all the way on the bottom, like removing the bed and putting a lock nut on the bottom of that, so it'll stabilize those screw posts. Low quality turn knobs. Again, that's kind of a mood point because, as Virgil stated, it's not really noticeable. Like, I don't even notice it. It's there to turn, but with the auto bed leveling system, you're not going to really need it. You tighten it up a little bit and call it a day. If anything, take them off and just put some locking bolts or nuts on them. Yeah, I'm good if I have S3D. Okay. So yeah, that's one good thing. Let's see here. Set it up, per the broken English instructions. So it's not just me. Printed out a test print work. Then after that, it was impossible work, even though the bed was leveled. Nothing stuck to the bed. So that might just be user error with different filaments. That can be several different things. So we'll see. So let's see what other stuff is here. Trying to see what it says for in terms of if it's a 24 volt or 12 volt, and I'm not seeing that anywhere actually. It actually does not tell me what voltage this is, so I'm actually going to have to tear into it and see what voltage it is. Just going through all the pictures here to make sure nothing's set on there. Video, nope. Yeah, it doesn't even say on the electronics. Okay. I'm going to go with the 24 volt though. I'm almost positive it is. Just because it's a bigger system, so most likely they went with I would think they would go with a heavier duty power supply than a 12 volt. Even though I know 12 volt is a little more stable in terms of printing wise, uh, but obviously more voltage, more power, so on and so forth. Um, so just to talk about it, some key points here. So go through some of the downfalls on it. The instructions are okay at best. They do require some extra added steps added into them to let the user know, hey, like this has got to be tightened on with these type of bolts, and you got to do some fiddling around with that. But for the most part, it is pretty straightforward. It's not terribly broken English, but it's enough. If you're a new user, you're going to be like, what am I doing here? So with that, is that a terrible point? Yes and no. Um, Another thing, trying to get the uprights into position was kind of a pain. I actually had to stretch the uprights to get it to work. Now, obviously, that didn't hurt anything, but it was just a small stretch, just enough to, go from here to just there. So, maybe a quarter of a millimeter, if that, over. The bed knobs, low quality, really, really low quality, like insanely low quality. I'm getting a better print with their test stuff. So that right there says a million words. Whoever's dealing with the test printing of the items for this printer, they need to be retrained on it because obviously they're failing at it miserably. Um, let's see what else. The uh, the auto bed leveling is kind of different because I'm used to where it does it every single print. This one is, I guess, the newer style where you level the bed and make sure that the auto bed leveling is running its course, and then you go ahead and do your prints. So it's a little different to me. I'm not sure if that's like how all the newer printers are like this that have auto bed leveling on it, but with that being said, one thing that you guys must know if you are if you're going to be using the auto bed leveling system, um, make sure that your bed is heated before you do the auto bed leveling because you will get different readings if it's cold, and you will actually get worse readings when it's cold. So you're not going to get good prints. So if people don't know that, and it's not in the instruction manual in any way, shape, or form on how to set that properly, it just says to automatically level the bed, and that's it. So it doesn't tell you that, hey, this is going to happen if you don't do this. So that's one thing to take into consideration when you're leveling the bed on this. Obviously, as you can see, I had the bed completely off. I just kind of turned the knobs on there, started a print. We didn't level the bed, and we just kind of leveled it on the fly. While I don't suggest that because you can seriously gouge the bed, I had it down enough to where it wasn't terribly gouging the bed. It did leave a mark on it, but it's not where it's going to be like, oh my god, I got to replace this mat. Even though I probably will, I'll probably end up replacing it with a flex plate um, sooner rather than later. The end stops are real cheap looking, but they do work. So as much as in terms of aesthetics, I'm not too happy about it, but they work. So, in my opinion, let it roll. Um, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. In my opinion, I've learned that quite a lot with the Ender 3. Um, and let's see some other points to talk about for a good side. For those who like touchscreens, it's got a very nice touchscreen. It's got a 3.5-inch touchscreen, very responsive. It's not really delayed in any way, shape, or form like some of the ones that I've seen. It's got a very nice interface compared to some of the ones that I've seen that are just kind of basic, or they look too flashy and that takes up too much memory. It has a full size SD card, which is totally cool. It is direct drive. It has auto bed leveling, and it has a filament runout sensor. So if you were to decide between this and a CR10, to be in all honesty, this is a pretty good printer. And that's really hard for me to say because the CR10 has a history of just turning and burning. Like they are the best of the best when it comes to big volume printers. So it's really hard for me to even stray away from that. Now, at this point in time, I will say that. But again, as you guys know, this is just kind of an unboxing and a setup. I'll test this out for the next week or two, and then we'll come back around and hit it with an actual review because I want to make sure that everything is working the way that it should. It keeps working the way that it should. I can do major prints one right after another. Like I want to see how good of a workhorse this printer actually is before I say, hey, this is a great buy. But as of right now, just sight and seen, it's a pretty good buy so far. But in terms of like, am I going to give it my full approval for that? Not right now. That's at a later date. So like I said, I'm probably going to do some sort of a big print. Hopefully a helmet. We'll see how well that goes. Again, I've never done a helmet before, so it could just be a catastrophe. But you never know. All in all, I'm actually more impressed with it than I was expecting. Just looking over the review that it has on Amazon, where it's like, I think it's like 2.5 stars. It's something ridiculous, like insane. Yeah, it's 2 out of 5 stars. Yeah, it's got a 2 out of 5 stars. Now, with that also being said, there's only 8 people that have reviewed this, so that could also be the reason why is that people were looking for something. They didn't fully understand how to build this or anything. I'll be honest, I'm still kind of a noob when it comes to this stuff because different ABLs work differently, as you clearly saw. But I'm good enough to where I know how a printer works, so I can get it working right away, which we did. We got it working without the ABL even working. That whole review section, I'll have to look through each and every one and figure out what's going on with that, and maybe I can try and help those people that are in trouble with them. But as of right now, I mean, I give it at least a 4 out of 5 stars, just initially. But again, we'll run it through its paces and see how it actually does, and if it can hold up to that 4 stars or even gain a 5-star, because it does have some cool things. RGB lighting, which apparently I didn't check to see if we can't turn it on or off or change the color while it's not printing. But when it's during printing, you can't do anything with it. So that's kind of stupid, in my opinion. But it could just be that it doesn't work at all, which I don't even know why that option's there then. So, but yeah, it also has a flex plate on it, so that's kind of nice. I'm not too fond of these magnetic ones, these floppy magnetic ones, because if you guys know anything about them, they're usually lower quality. They only hold up to about 50C, 60C at a consistent pace. So for it to state that it can do PTG, PLA, ABS, and TPU, it's kind of a stretch because I don't see that thing lasting very well when it comes to ABS. That's one of the things that I don't think that that'll hold up to that temperature. But who knows? Maybe they actually put some money into that and got the better one. But I highly doubt it. So for now, I'm just going to leave it at that. I'll finish this test print or let it run out the filament at least and see where we go from there. And, we'll see what we got with it. But that's pretty much all I got. If you guys got any question, comments, concerns, let me know. Oh yeah, that's one other thing. Thank you for mentioning that, Canadian Maker. So the only other weird thing that I saw about this is this. This is kind of flimsy. You can probably put like one of those ID tags up there. That's fine. I used to do that with my Prusa. It's kind of janky, but it works. And in terms of getting tangled and everything, it won't, because you got a direct filament path. So that's not terribly an issue, but that's just, it's kind of wonky. It looks really, really cheap, really cheesy. But I mean, it is nicer than most of them, where they're all kind of globbed up in the back here and they get caught on the bed or whatever it may be. So whereas this one's kind of out of the way. But again, if you're doing larger prints, that might become an issue if it happens to ever fall down below here, because then you're going to run into your print, and that's not going to be a fun day. So so you definitely need to support this in some way, shape, or form. Whether you want to ghetto rig it with some zip ties, or, like I said, an ID tag, that'd probably be the best and cheapest way to go. I mean, obviously zip ties are probably cheaper because you got them there. But I mean, anything that you got to even a piece of string, just put it on the upright there and call it a day. So I'm looking at that cable and looking at the length, and is it even going to reach to the height at all? That's a good question. I didn't even think about that. That's a very, very valid question. Yes, it will. So here's the thing. Okay, so while this goes up, this will go up with it. So this is actually just connected to the entire gantry. So I got where you're thinking, and I thought I was thinking it too, but yeah, I forgot that you have this. This entire piece goes all the way up. So this allows this to go up, and just this piece is connected. So it's kind of like a two-piece system on this port area. So, but I get what you're talking about, but no, it'll reach to the top, no problem. So that answers your question right here. This will raise all the way up with the printer. So this chain is just more or less to go back and forth. That's all it's there for. It does not go up and down. Well, I mean, it does, but its main purpose is only to go back and forth. So left and right. That needs a chain mod for sure. Yeah, and if I knew how to modify files, or even get files, I'm sorry. If I knew how to design things, I would probably try and design a file for this, because it is definitely a very unique connector, because it uses these outside connectors that I used to use for security cameras. You put the wires through, you tighten it down. It's a tight connector, so it's waterproof and everything. So not sure why they used it on a printer, but it's definitely unique. But yeah, I mean, looks like a knockoff of the V6. Wonder if the nozzle X will work on it. I'm not sure, but I do have an extra nozzle here, so it's a good possibility. It is kind of a different hot end. While it looks like a V6, it's like half the size of it, and the fins are much wider apart. So I'm not really sure what it is. It might be one of the newer hot ends that's like a V6, might be like a V7, if they even make that. So yeah, no, I kind of figured you were talking about that, understandably. Hey, I get like that sometimes too. So obviously this print will come out, but it'll come out okay because it's on a wobbly table. So I'm not expecting much for it to be printing. But hopefully once it gets done with this layer, we can hear how the first layer fan is. And at that point in time, I'll let you guys go. But I want to at least try and wait and make sure how quiet this system really is for you guys. I know we're coming up on 2 hours and 30 minutes of this live feed, which I usually don't like to take more than an hour and a half, but already we're over, so forget it. Figured we'll do a nice in-depth review of it, or unboxing, not even a review, because the review takes a little while. I'm not like those other YouTubers that are just going to be like, hey, this is my thoughts about it. I'm going to take it out of the box. And yeah, this is a great printer. Go ahead and buy it. Yes, my initial impressions are this is a good printer, but does it really hold up? That's what we'll have to see. So again, 2 weeks down the line or so, we're going to do an actual review video of this, and I'll give my thoughts about it. I'll show off some of the prints that I've done at it. Tell you what some of the good and bad things are on the long term, because nobody really wants to see somebody unbox a printer, start printing with it, and say, hey, it's a great printer. At least I sure don't. So I look forward to the print after this is all done. Yeah, as long as it gets done. I did turn on the filament runout sensor, so that should work if it runs out. And I do have some like fancy gold, or I do have another open spool somewhere that I can utilize the filament. So it might be dual, if not triple color. So just be expecting that, because I highly doubt this test filament will print this, because if this is the cube, I'm sorry, if this is the pyramid, I think it is. And again, fracture, God, it's on the tip of my tongue. A fractured cube? No, fractured pyramid. Fractal pyramid. That if it's a fractal pyramid, this is actually going to be a pretty big pyramid. So this is going to take up a lot of filament, because it's going to do all the little intricate parts. So for the helmet, you're going to need a full 1 kilogram. No problem. I got 2 brand new spools right there. You can see a white one, and there's a gray one right underneath it. I'll obviously probably end up using the gray. So I'm not really too concerned about it. Again, we also have a filament runout sensor, so I don't have to really worry about that if something runs out at the end of the night. As long as it's not caught in the spool, or gets caught in the filament sensor, we should have a good day. So we'll see. So we're almost getting done with this this raft here. So hopefully we'll hear the first layer start kicking on here in a little bit. That should be right around the 2:30 mark on our video here. By the way, thank you guys all for sticking around. Again, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Give the video a thumbs up if you haven't as well. And hopefully we get some more of these printers and videos all set up and ready to go. If we do happen to have more and more printers, I'll obviously have to change my camera setup so I can get a better camera view on it. Maybe we'll set up OBS so that way we can switch between a camera here and a camera up front, or a movable camera, or something like that. So I got a 1 kilogram. Isn't that are you sure it's 1 kilogram? Because a spool isn't it 2.2 kilograms? Or is it 1 kilogram and 2.2 pounds? Can't remember now. It's been a while since I've FDM printed stuff. So for me to know that is just not in the cards or needed, because I do resin printing. As you can see, my big printer is right here, and then my other big printer is over there from SaneSmart. So and then we have some of our smaller printers here and here, and then one right here, one right there, and then I got one on the floor that needs to be unboxed. So maybe you guys might see me tomorrow on unboxing the Spark Maker FHD. So, because we need to get that up and rolling here. So, if not tomorrow, then maybe Friday night we'll do one. And that one will just be a quick setup and unboxing, because it's a very small printer. I mean, I can fit it on the bed of this printer. I can print. I can literally print that printer on this printer. I can print the whole thing. So, so yeah, we got to do an unboxing for that one as well. So, almost there. I swear I'll let you guys go in a little. I think we got one more line. No, maybe two. Maybe it's doing one more layer of it, but I'm going to let you guys go. I thank you all for sticking around. And, once this video is done, I'll put all the links for if you're interested in buying this printer. I'll put an affiliate link down there through Amazon, and also a link to Mingda's actual website. And you'll see some prints on it. I'll show them off on the 3D printing for noobs group. Yeah, we'll get this thing out there and see if people actually like it. So far, I'm actually okay with it. I was a little worried, to be in all honesty, but it wasn't too bad. So thanks for sticking around, and until next time, guys, happy printing.